I think there's like something going around on Facebook that was like, my circle's so small, I know who's calling when the phone rings. And it's just like, well, my phone doesn't really ring. Hello one, hello all, welcome to my channel. My name is Clarissa and today we're gonna do a little real talk chit chat while I do my wash and go. I hope y'all can hear me. The house is quiet, everybody's asleep, I'm up. So hopefully this goes well. I'm not gonna get too detailed with the products. I'm using Dad. Only reason I'm using them is simply because I got a good deal on them. So I decided to pick them up because why not? So I asked you guys on Instagram to send me any topics y'all want me to talk about. So I'm gonna hit those first and then I'm just gonna talk about things that I wanna talk about. Doesn't have to be hair related. I did get some hair related questions, so we're gonna do that. Follow me on Instagram because again, Instagram sees everything first. So if you wanna be in the loop about what's coming, what's going on, you wanna be involved in the videos that I make, follow me on Instagram. And without further ado, we're gonna get right into the video. So the first question I got was basically just how to have a healthy hair routine. I think I've hit this before, but I can talk about it again. Basically, it's all about having a consistent regimen where you shampoo, deep condition, and then some type of style that you normally do, whether that's a wash and go, twist out, protective style, whatever. It needs to be some type of consistency with that. And that's really all it is consistency and shampooing and deep conditioning. Everybody has their own opinions about shampooing and whether you should do it, whether you shouldn't do it. Is it good? Is it bad? How often? I believe in shampooing. I believe healthy hair starts with clean hair. I've always felt that way. So yes, I believe that shampooing and then deep conditioning is just important. And as far as consistency goes, whether that means that you do it once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever it is, it needs to be some type of consistent thing. You don't see anything in life without consistency. That goes for anything. And I think I talked about this before in one of my earlier videos, but any type of consistency, whether that be weight loss or studying for a class or getting better at a sport, everything takes consistency. You're not going to see any kind of results without it. So that is my recommendations for that. Really, it's nothing to it. It just takes hard work and patience and consistency. The next question I got was about how to keep my wash and goes moisturized throughout the week. This may be different for some people, so I don't know how much of help I'm gonna be really because I don't do much to my hair throughout the week. The most I can say is if your hair is actually like dry throughout your process, however long you usually do your wash and goes, whether that's for a week, 2 weeks, the only thing I can really say is to use water. Water is your best friend when it comes to moisture. So for me, sometimes my roots can get really dry for some reason, and all I do to fix it is just take my little spray bottle and just spritz around my roots. If I ever have a time where my hair is like ridiculously dry, I either do one of two things. I either go back and just start over with a new wash day where I literally will wash my hair, deep condition, do the whole shebang, or I mix my leave-in conditioner with my water and then I'll spritz my hair that way, and that kind of refreshes. So I hope that helps. I really don't have to do that a lot with my hair just because I take the time to make sure my hair is really moisturized on my wash days, so that way it will last throughout the week. So you might need to make sure that whatever you're doing for your wash day is really going to last you. So maybe that means more products, or maybe that means different products. I don't know what that means for you because everybody's hair is so different. So that's all I can say for that really. The next topic, this is something that I wanted to talk about, and I'm not gonna name names because I don't do that, but I just wanted to talk about the climate in social media and people in the limelight, specifically couple channels, couple brands, couples. And I think we all know what I'm getting to. And you know, when things happen, when scandals happen, when allegations come up, when videos come up, and everybody gets so devastated. And again, people that follow me on Instagram, you already know what I'm about to say because I went on a whole rant on my story. I feel like we forget that people are people. Just because people are in the limelight doesn't make them any different from me, any different from you, any different from your friends. We are all people and we're all capable of making mistakes. And we put celebrities and all these people on these high pedestals that they don't belong. It's okay to have role models. I have people I look up to. I'm sure you do too, and that is perfectly fine. But I am saying that when these people that you look up to, when they make mistakes, when they drop the ball, because we all drop the ball at some point, why do we get so tore out the frame? And you know, I said my piece on it as well. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want to come off as like judgmental or anything, but I have my own feelings about being loyal in relationships and whatnot. And if you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, you didn't. But follow me on Instagram and you won't miss anything. But for real, I just feel like we put celebrities and people on these high pedestals where they don't belong, and then we get devastated when they make a mistake or when something comes out about them. And I'm not saying that as from judgment because I've done it too. We all do it. We all have people we look up to. It's not a bad thing, but don't put them somewhere so high that you think they're beyond being human. That's just how I feel about it. And that brings me to something else I wanted to talk about, kind of a caveat into it, which is cancel culture. Can we talk about this for a second, y'all? Cancel culture is so toxic for so many different reasons. I believe in holding people accountable for sure. Absolutely. Hold people accountable. We're all supposed to be held accountable. If we're doing something we have no business doing, make a genuine mistake, whatever, we should all be held accountable. I agree with that. What I don't agree with is that people should be burned at the stake and never forgiven. And it's just the end of them. And that's it. That is such a terrible thing that our generation has decided is a thing now. And I hate it because I believe that people can grow. Yes, hold them accountable. If someone makes a mistake, intentional, not intentional, something stupid that you're just like, what in the world were you thinking? Whatever the case is, I believe in forgiveness and I believe in giving a chance to see change. But completely canceling somebody, completely saying like, you know what, no, your life is not important and you're just canceled and that's it. And we don't want to see you, we don't want to hear from you, you're done. I don't believe in that. Because for example, think about a mistake you made. And I'm not talking about some small little mistake. I'm talking about a big mistake. I'm talking about a mistake where you might even look back on it now and cringe. Or you might even be thinking about it right now and be like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? What was I thinking? Think about that. Now, how would you feel if with whatever mistake that made, whoever it involved, whoever it hurt, whatever the case is, they just completely canceled you. They blocked you out, made it their life mission to ruin your life, ruin your family, ruin the people close to you, mess with your finances, do whatever the case is to get you canceled. How would you feel? And think about that mistake. Think about how long ago it was. And if it was long ago, think about how you've changed. Okay, I gave y'all a minute. Now think about if someone brought up that mistake again years later and you're not that person anymore. You have changed, you've improved, but they're bringing it up and they make it their life mission to ruin your life, to quote unquote cancel you because of that mistake. Even though, yes, you own the mistake, yes, you realize it happened, but you grew from it. How would that make you feel? Not the best. I know I would not feel good, especially if I've changed since then. Now, if it's a repeated behavior, that's a little bit different. I just feel like it's a hateful place to be. It almost goes back to the elementary principle of just treating people how you want to be treated. Why in the world am I going to treat you in a way that I wouldn't want to be treated? I would want to be forgiven. Yes, I would want to be held accountable, but I want to be shown love and given a chance. And I feel like this is not the age of chances. This is the age of exposure. This is the age of, I'm gonna get you back like how you got me back. This is the age of, yes, you made a mistake and I'm gonna keep it to myself until you make me mad, and then I'm going to bring it up and tell the world. And I just feel like that's wrong. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel, but that's how I feel. I feel like it's not right. It's tiring. So that's my take on that. Next topic, and this might take up the bulk of the video, honestly, but I wanted to talk about 2020 from an introvert's point of view. For those of you that don't know, I am your classic introvert. I'm not half and half enough to be an ambivert. I'm more of an introvert for sure. And 2020, with being quarantined and affecting social life, 2020 has affected social lives of us all. I'm definitely on a different path as far as how I feel. I kind of touched on it in the I'm Back video when I first came back to YouTube after I got married. On my I'm Back video, I kind of talked about how 2020 really wasn't that bad for me, and I got a comment talking about how I kind of came off insensitive, which I really did not mean to. And I do apologize again for that, because I never want to diminish how anybody else has been feeling with 2020. 2020 has been a dumpster fire of stuff, for lack of a better word. It's been a dumpster fire. But from an introvert's point of view, it's affected me positively and negatively, really honestly, especially when it comes to my relationships, the few that I have. Let's start there. The very few relationships that I have. One, because I'm introverted, I really don't have a lot of people close to me like that. Two, I am not a trusting person. I don't know why I'm like that. I just am. I'm trying to work on changing it and being more open and not being so standoffish. Part of that is just because I am introverted, and introverts sometimes come off as standoffish. Side note, hello from a fellow introvert. We are not standoffish, okay? If you think we don't like you, it might not be because we don't like you. It might just be because we're trying to figure you out. It might just be because we're chilling. It might just be because we're thinking. We're not judging nobody. Okay, cleared that up. I am not a very trusting person, and I've never had a lot of friends at once. I had something happen to me. It's been a few years. I had something happen to me where someone that I trusted really hurt me. And I think we've all been there. We've all had, a moment like that. But it's different for an introvert because we do not let people in often. So, from an introvert standpoint, when you bring someone into your bubble and you trust them and you really trust them and they hurt you, it does something to your psyche as an introvert. What's that quote everybody says on Facebook? Don't bleed on people that didn't cut you, or whatever the quote is. That's really hard when something like that happens. So for me, introverted, already not very trusting of people, and then something happens to me where I am pretty crushed about something. It's very hard. And then 2020 happens and everybody is isolated. For me, that meant being with my husband, my cat, and that's it. That's my family. That's the three of us in a house. It was basically like an introvert's dream, really. Like, you're telling me I just have to stay in the house and I don't have to go anywhere, and I still have my Wi-Fi, I still have my everything, but I don't have to go anywhere. I can just be home. It became very hard for me to maintain relationships like that. And let me know in the comments, any other introverts, or maybe even some extroverts, tell me how y'all have been coping with being inside, being somewhat isolated. How have y'all been coping? Because I feel like how I've been coping, if you want to call it coping, because I just feel like I've just been living, is retreating more into my introverted shell. That sounds so bad, but that's really where I've been at. Like, my social bar has decreased so much. I think there's like something going around on Facebook that was like, my circle's so small, I know who's calling when the phone rings. And it's just like, well, my phone doesn't really ring. If my phone rings, I know it's Jamar. And that's about it. And partly of that is just because, again, like, we've all been coping with 2020 differently. Some of us have expressed our feelings on Facebook. Some of us have expressed our feelings through other means like TikTok and whatever else. Some of us have just disappeared from the face of the earth, which is what I really wanted to do. Like, when you put an introvert in an introverted environment, they just just go inside. And that's where I feel like I've been at, inside. Working on me, 1, 2, kind of enjoying the solitude. 3, really reevaluating relationships that I have had for a lot of different reasons. And I hope one day, because I know sometimes like some of y'all are probably watching my videos like, what is she talking about? What is this big thing that happened to her that she keeps talking about that happened? I hope I can talk about it one day. I hope I can really talk about it and just lay it all out there. 1, when I'm 100% healed, and just know that I can talk about it and be okay. But I know that time is not now, so I'm not gonna do that. But I hope one day I am ready to talk about it, because I know it can probably help other people, but that's regardless of the point. The point is, from an introvert's point of view, 2020 has been a blessing and somewhat of a curse. A blessing because I feel like I've really been able to work on myself this year. Work on myself, work on my family. We really needed the time to be able to grow in ourselves, especially being a newlywed, new family. And then it's been kind of hurting me because my social relationships have kind of taken a hit, and I don't really know how to bring those back quite yet. Again, if you're introverted and you're watching this, please don't be afraid to chime in the comments and tell me how you've been coping. Because definitely, like, I have felt very little motivation to socialize. Like, even all the way down to social media. Like, I just have not felt motivated in that way socially. And we're social people. Everybody needs some kind of human connection. But it's just like my motivation to maintain has like gone very low when it comes to that. It's just like I got the people I got, and I'm just trying to maintain that and maintain my relationship with myself. So let me know how y'all have been feeling when it comes to like your social standing with friends, with co-workers, with anything. How has 2020 really been affecting you socially? 2020 has also like shown a lot of true colors for me as far as like social too. So I think that's why I've also just taken a step back. Everybody reacts different to stress, and I think everybody should be given the benefit of the doubt with that. But I also think a lot of true colors come when things get serious. And I saw that a lot. Again, I wish I could say more, and I hope I can one day. So that's another reason why like I just have not felt pressed at all socially. Something else that 2020 has affected for me beyond social, spiritually, I have been affected a lot, and I'm sure y'all have too. For those of you that don't know, I am a Christian. I believe in God, all of that. And I cannot lie and say my faith really has been tested this year. 1, coming from like, okay, why is this pandemic happening? And then other things that took place in my life that made me really question a lot. 2020 really caused me to go from like church focus to relationship focus when it came to God. Like, I feel like we put so much emphasis on church, the building, the ins and outs of church, but like how many of us really know God? And 2020 was that eye-opening time for me where it was just like, wow, my relationship with God is not where I need it to be at all. I need to fix this. And that's when things started to change spiritually for me as well. When I stopped focusing on a building and started seeing what really mattered. So once again, please comment down below. How has 2020 affected you spiritually? Has it dwindled? Has it improved? Are you in the middle? Has your faith been tested at all? Let me know. Let me know, 1, that I'm not alone. And 2, just let me know how y'all have really been, like for real. But 2020 has been a wind of change for the world. And I believe everything happens for a reason. I'm not saying that the chaos that has happened and the devastation that has happened, you know, is good and you know, it's not that bad. That's not what I'm saying. But I do feel like there's purpose in everything. I believe in purpose. I do not believe that things just happen. I feel like 2020 has shaken the world up. It's caused us to look inward at ourselves. It's caused me to see the whole world differently. It's caused me to see people differently. It's caused me to see what's really important at the end of the day. Things that I used to care about so much, now all of a sudden it's not the same for me. That's another thing that 2020 has really affected me was social media. I am not pressed about social media anymore. I guess unless you include TikTok. I like TikTok. But like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm not pressed like I used to be. I used to be so pressed. It's not important. It's not real. And I really feel like that's what realization I came to with this whole pandemic. Social media is not real. We see what everybody wants us to see. That goes for us, our friends, whatever. We don't post the bad times. Well, some people post the bad times, but most people don't post the bad times. You can see a happy couple. They're not gonna post their crazy times on the internet. So they could be showing you that they're this perfect couple, when in reality, they could be a totally different way behind closed doors. You could see someone on Instagram that is so happy, smiling all the time, etc., but they're not really happy. It's just not real. I'm not saying social media is the devil and it's bad, and that's not what I'm saying, but I do think it's important to put things into perspective for people, because we have a really big tendency to compare, and we compare our lives to people's lives on social media, and we're basically subliminally being told, like, this is what your life should look like. This is the car you should drive. This is how your body should look. This is where you should be in life at this age. And if we're not careful, you can start to compare, and then you just become unhappy. I really wish I had learned this sooner. I would have saved myself a lot of grief, a lot of feeling that I'm not good enough, a lot of feeling like I'm missing something. But yeah, y'all, those were just a few topics that I really felt pressed to talk about. That's really been on my mind. I hope to do these more often, but it all depends on what you guys want to see. I do make videos and things like that of stuff that I want to make, but I also take into consideration that you guys want to see certain things too. I just feel like you can only make so many wash and go videos. You can only make so many twist out videos. You can only make so many how to grow your hair videos. You can only make so many product reviews. I want to be real. I want to connect with people. I just want to talk about the real stuff sometimes. Take a break from, oh, this product was this and this was amazing and I got definition and yada 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 and look at the shine. And no, let's talk about the real things going on in the world. Kind of like one of those things where everybody says how are you, but they don't really care about your answer, and then you get that one person that stops you and is like, how are you really? I want my videos to be like that. I don't know how often I'm gonna do these, but hopefully maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month, or I guess just whenever, something comes up. The more interaction I get from you guys, the more I can talk about. Because honestly, to this one, I'm really just talking about things that I know I really want to talk about. And if I get more interaction from you guys, I can hit topics that you all want me to talk about. Because I've said it before, I am not a robot. I'm a real person, and I like to talk about real things. But I'm not gonna ramble anymore. I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm gonna come back whenever this is dry. So, give me 1 second. Okay, so this is the next day. It is Thanksgiving, and this is what my hair is looking like after I sat under the dryer and then put my hair up in my scarf and cap for the night. So this is what we're working with. If you made it to the very end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below with any of your thoughts, any of your feelings about anything that I said, anything that you want me to cover later. If you want me to do another real talk, let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well if you haven't. And for those of you who have been loyal, faithfully watching, faithfully commenting, sending me encouraging messages just when I popped in your mind, I'm really thankful for y'all. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for your support, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.